The world held its breath as Donald Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney faced off in the Oval Office. And Trump delivered a brutal takedown that left the tennis world and the political world absolutely stunned. The U.S. president declared Canada doesn't have anything America needs, mocked Carney's negotiating position, and repeated his infamous 51st state threat with chilling confidence. Trump won the argument, but then Carney's next move shocked everyone. While the world expected the Canadian leader to retreat, he instead delivered a defiant response that has the entire global community talking. The shocking truth that no one saw coming is that this wasn't just a political showdown. It was a preview of a seismic shift in global power dynamics that could affect everything from trade to sports. When Donald Trump welcomed Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney to the Oval Office, the U.S. president came prepared to dominate the conversation, and he did exactly that. Trump wasted no time in making it clear who held the power in the room, declaring that the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, was merely a transitional step that terminates fairly shortly. The president made no commitment to renewing the critical trade deal that Canada relies on for more than 3/4 of its exports. But it was Trump's blunt assessment of America's relationship with its northern neighbor that truly stunned observers. We don't need their cars, we don't need their energy, we don't need their lumber, we don't need anything they have. They, on the other hand, need everything from us. Trump posted on Truth Social just minutes before Carney's arrival that the confrontation grew even more intense when Trump revived his infamous 51st state rhetoric, telling Carney that joining the United States would be a wonderful marriage for Canada, offering tax cuts and free military protection. He dismissed the border between the two countries as artificial and insisted that time would prove him right. Carney immediately fired back. Canada is never for sale. But Trump, undeterred, quipped, "Never say never. Time will tell." The exchange left political analysts stunned by Trump's aggressive posture and Carney's struggle to respond effectively. Some observers noted that Carney appeared uncomfortable and squirming during the meeting, with Trump confidently sticking to his talking points while Carney countered with nothing. The tension in the Oval Office was rooted in a confrontation that began weeks earlier in Davos, Switzerland. At the World Economic Forum, Carney had delivered a speech that was widely interpreted as a rebuke of Trump's use of American economic and military might to achieve geopolitical goals. Carney urged middle powers to avoid becoming victims of American hegemony, remarks that received a standing ovation. But Trump, whose own speech had been poorly received, felt upstaged and responded with characteristic fury. He took to Truth Social to call Carney a governor, a deliberate insult designed to diminish the Canadian leader's status, and threatened 100% punitive tariffs if Canada pursued deeper trade ties with China. During the Oval Office meeting, Trump made it crystal clear that he hadn't forgotten or forgiven Carney's Davos remarks. The president reiterated his position that Canada lives because of the United States, and warned Carney to remember that in his future speeches. Sources close to the meeting revealed that Trump called out Carney directly, forcing the Canadian leader to acknowledge the natural conflict between the two nations. Carney, however, tried to salvage the situation, telling Trump, "I meant what I said in Davos," a statement that Trump reportedly dismissed with a wave of his hand. The moment captured the complete power imbalance between the two leaders, with Trump confidently asserting U.S. dominance, while Carney scrambled to find a response. Just when the world expected Mark Carney to retreat in the face of Trump's aggressive posturing, the Canadian Prime Minister delivered a shocking response that left everyone speechless. Rather than backing down, Carney publicly rejected Trump's claims and doubled down on his criticism of U.S. policies. Canada and the United States have built a remarkable partnership in the economy, in security, and in rich cultural exchange, Carney declared. But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian. The defiant response, delivered in Quebec City, signaled that Carney was not willing to be bullied into submission. Carney's next move was even more surprising. He announced that Canada would continue to diversify its trade relationships and would do whatever is necessary to defend Canadian interests. Speaking after a meeting with provincial leaders in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Carney declared, "We find ourselves in a stronger position than when this trade war began 18 months ago. We are in a stronger position because of the determination of Canadians themselves. The Prime Minister also rejected Trump's claims about Canada's reliance on the U.S., stating that he had made it clear to the President that Canada would not be intimidated. Carney's response shocked political analysts who had expected a more conciliatory approach, and his defiance has been praised by many Canadians who have grown weary of Trump's attacks. The shocking truth that no one saw coming is that Trump's Oval Office takedown was actually part of a larger strategic move, and Carney's surprising response completely altered the dynamics of the confrontation. While Trump appeared to win the argument in the moment, Carney's post-meeting statements and his refusal to back down have shifted the narrative. The Canadian Prime Minister has signaled that he will not be cowed by U.S. pressure, and his government has begun preparing a series of countermeasures, including potential restrictions on energy and critical mineral exports. Carney, however, has expressed skepticism about using commodities as a trade weapon, stating, "When you're supplier of a key commodity, you got to think really hard about not supplying. I can understand conceptually, but I don't see the value." This measured approach has been praised by economists who fear that weaponizing commodities would be a risky strategy that could backfire. The Canadian government has also quietly launched a Buy Canadian campaign designed to reduce dependence on U.S. goods, a move that has resonated with patriotic Canadians who feel betrayed by Trump's aggression. The shocking truth that no one saw coming is that this confrontation between Trump and Carney is far from over, and it has profound implications for the future of the U.S.-Canada relationship. Trump has made it clear that he sees the USMCA as a transitional step, and that he is willing to let uncertainty over the agreement's future linger. Carney, meanwhile, has signaled that he is ready to fight back, not through confrontation, but through measured resistance and strategic diversification. The relationship between the two countries, which has been described as the lowest point in relations in recent memory, is unlikely to improve anytime soon. Frank McKenna, former Canadian ambassador to the U.S., captured the sentiment perfectly. "We've had ups and downs, but this is the lowest point in relations that I can recall." While the world waits to see what happens next, the shocking truth is that Carney's surprising defiance has changed everything. The political world is watching, and the tennis world, where Alex Ela continues to captivate millions, has become an unexpected witness to history in the making.